the amount of times I felt behind. Oh, if that's you, you're in the right place. Today's video, I want to talk about this idea of comparison, what to do with it, why all of this stuff is actually a good thing, how to move through it, and even give you tangible tools to walk away from to make sure that you can forevermore shift out of this and step into a more aligned reality for yourself. Serendipitously, I actually found this little candle, this little shocker candle today. What a beautiful serendipitous thing to come in. So we'll just take a moment. No idea how you say ylang ylang, lang lang, but it's got that and bergamot and it smells heavenly. So take a moment to just appreciate a moment. Yeah, it's for you if you need more devotion and compassion in your life. So when is it your turn? Well, I want to tell you, it's your turn when you decide it's your turn, but I know it's not as simple as that because when we start to step into more for ourselves and say, okay, now is when I'm going to start shifting. I'm going to start deciding that I get to have the bigger reality. That's when all of the stuff in your world is going to start to rock. It's going to start to show you things that are going to make you question that big step that you're taking of moving into the new desired reality. What do I mean by this? What I mean is that you're going to have weird conversations that people are going to start kind of questioning you on things like your consistency, random little comments on your passions that nobody's ever said before, but you're like, wait, I decided to step deeper into this and now somebody's coming in and talking to me about my passions and judging me, or everybody and their mom on social media is going to look like they have life figured out and you're going to feel immense feelings of maybe I'm behind. What's the point of me doing this? Because I should have started forever ago and now it's too late. All of these kind of monkey mind, weird external things are going to start happening as you start rising into this new level of yourself, because it's really just an opportunity for you to really claim and say, no, I'm holding strong. This is what I've decided. Not necessarily a test as it is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you got this. So first and foremost, I just want to say, if you're feeling like, okay, when is it my turn? I'm ready for it to be my turn and I'm going to take control of this and make it my turn. And then all of a sudden everything around you is kind of like shifting and making you question yourself. I want to say it's a good thing, because all of that around you is just your subconscious mirror. It's just rising to the surface to come up, to come out. It's what I really believe, because it's showing you your subconscious, what's been stuck in you the entire time up to this point. It's showing you all the things that were in your way that kept you small. It's a good thing because you're getting to literally, quite literally, clear out the things that aren't serving you anymore, to instead step into a reality that's much more aligned to the highest version of yourself. With that being said too, I really want to just take a moment to let's just digest when it says, when is it my turn? What is that really saying? That's saying that where you are right now is not feeling as comfortable as it used to. It's saying that you are sensing a bigger potential of yours that can come online in this lifetime. Like there's a higher version of yourself that wants to be shared with the world, that wants to come online, maybe literally or just like, it's just turning on, you're tuning into this different version of yourself. Where you are is no longer where you want to be. And that's exciting, but I know it can also feel equally pressuring, because it's like, okay, well, what do I do with that? How do I move? And I promise you in this video, we will get there. But in the meantime, the main thing I want to tell you is that it's really good that this stuff is coming online. It doesn't need to simultaneously be pressuring, because it's not asking you to, shift in 2 seconds and go be that version of you now and do a million things, a million miles an hour to be able to bring your highest potential online. That's not what it's asking you. So just take a breath, grab a candle, breathe. Starting to step into the version of yourself that you feel called to this lifetime gets to happen gradually. It doesn't have to happen in an instant. It doesn't have to happen in a moment. This is your permission slip that you don't need, but I'm going to give it to you to slowly start to step into the discovery, the curiosity about this next level version of yourself. Shift from the fear and the panic and scarcity mindset of, oh my gosh, I have no time abundance on this, into more excitement and wow, there's another level version of me that I get to tap into. Who is this person? What do they like? How do they spend their time? How do I more so become that person? What does that look like? I really believe that our life is the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves. I can't remember exactly who said that, but when I heard that, I just felt like I really resonated with that. Do you ever hear things and you're like, I don't need to question it. I don't need to see proof on that. I just really deeply resonate with that truth. I'm curious for you, are there any things like that that you've heard where you were like, yeah, That's it for me. And maybe it's a virtue that you live by. If so, please share it below in the comments. I would love to read that. Okay, so what do we do with all this, right? We're understanding, okay, so I'm feeling a call for more in my life. I know that my highest potential really wants to be experienced in this lifetime, and where I'm at doesn't feel quite like it's it anymore. But all I know is that everything around me is making me feel inferior. It's making me feel like I'm moving too slow. I'm not enough, blah, blah, blah. What do I do? Also, before I dive into that, I just want to say if you're enjoying the vibe of this, if you're feeling connected to this so far, I would love to have you in my community. I know I'm just getting started here, but I'm planning on making multiple videos every single week. If this is resonating, go ahead, like the video, subscribe. That really helps me out, but also I believe can help you out too, wherever you are in your life. So anyway, let's get back into it. The biggest thing to do around all of this stuff going on as you're shifting into a new identity, because that's really what's happening here, is it's so important to feel safe in all of this. Safety is a muscle that you build. It's not necessarily something that you just automatic do. It is something that you work towards progressively and consistently every day. Show up in this intention of, I'm going to work on feeling safe in my body, safe in this shift, and be on my own team. I'm going to meet myself where I'm at, and I'm going to give myself kindness and compassion in this process. I know it's not necessarily sexy advice, and I know it's not like the coolest trending advice, but it is foundational advice that will serve you for the rest of your life. When there's comparison going on, not enoughness going on, impatience going on, fear, worry, overthinking, it is just a sense of you don't feel safe. Your stability and your sense of self feels rocked, and you're kind of like on stilts trying to figure out what do I do with this? So in order to move through it, you have to create a sense of home within yourself before you can really shift and move in a way that is like your higher self coming online. Creating a sense of safety in who you are and the journey that you're on and the processes that you're walking through. It gets to be fun, it gets to be easy, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. I really claim that I'm like the Hinge dating app of coaches. Their motto is that it's an app that was made to be deleted. I really feel like I'm the coach that was meant to be like, I don't want to say deleted, but like the coach that you work with me and then you don't need coaches anymore. I want to give you stuff that works, that's tangible, that's easy, that's simple, that's fun, that you can stick with. Creating safety in the body, there's so many ways to do it, but it's so important that you do it. The only way a lot of times we're going to do it is if it feels doable and something that you can stick with long term. A couple of ways that I like to do it are mainly by thinking about being on my own team, like really being cheerleader Jessie, not being upset when I mess up. I really live by this idea of what is this here to show me? I mean, really, I literally use this all the time. Last night, my boyfriend and I got in this weird argument, and it was literally because I was starting to shift into a different version of myself in a good way, and he brought up a very triggering thing. And that trigger, yeah, initially I was upset, but this morning I woke up and I asked myself, well, why did that trigger pop up? And I realized it was because he was mirroring my subconscious, and that subconscious was, like I just shared with you, it was all of these things that were the subconscious beliefs I had up until this point that were in my way, blocking me from stepping into this version of myself that I've wanted to for so long. It was like by us having that moment, it came up to come out and totally cleared. And now I get to let go of that belief system and I get to replace it with something different. And what's cool is that life in the universe is so unconditionally on our team that it supports us. So no matter which decision we make, it's like, awesome. You want more abundance, prosperity, limitless thinking, happiness? I'm going to give you more of that. Cool. You want to choose sadness to be the victim? You want to choose that life is just always against you? Cool. I support you. I'm going to give you more of that. So life is always working with us. It's just whether we choose to see it like that or not. What I found is creating safety is not only just being your own best friend, but it's having a lot of little conversations like that throughout the day, or just seeing yourself, having this awareness of who you are as you move about the world, having consciousness. Something that I do sometimes is I actually like literally record myself, like working or practicing like yoga, or I do a lot of like pole and dance and stuff. And I will record myself so I can kind of take a look and see like, how am I moving about the world? How am I presenting myself? How am I speaking? And it's not to judge myself. It's just to have this sense of self-awareness, because otherwise I don't know how I come across. Or I might think one thing, but actually what the world is receiving is another. So once you get to know yourself more, safety really is about the relationship that you have with yourself. And the more that you know yourself, the more that you can kind of lighten up on yourself, and you won't expect so much of yourself because you're like, no, I know that over time I'll get it. There's just a lot of little things you can do to build that safety. But one of the main things is by making sure that your relationship with yourself is one that you prioritize nurturing. Another thing is acting on the cravings that you have. When we act on the cravings of our life, we're not just acting out of hand and being crazy. Like, the cravings usually are what our soul really wants to experience. The cravings are our internal nudges to play, to lean in, to try out the thing where you're going to come alive, where a lot of your gifts and stuff are going to come online. So you'll never know unless you give yourself an opportunity to try. And usually the cravings come online to give us that opportunity. With that, it's about repetition. It's about consistently showing up for yourself in these little micro moments, because what that does is that actually builds a sense of trust within the self, because safety is trust. And trust is just a lot of past evidence that you can look to that proves that you always have your back, that you always take care of you, that you've always got you. So if you're consistently leaning into the cravings of your life, if you're consistently trying things and having fun and being lighthearted and talking to yourself and connecting with yourself and having self-awareness, cheerleading yourself on, reparenting, like kissing my mic. When you can do more of this, it's incredible how your external world will begin to shift simply because your inner world feels stronger, nurtured and loved and heard. Promise you, externally things will start to shift and show you that's true. As you begin to release the grip of, when is it my turn? I need things to happen now. And you start to flow more with the process simply because you are leaning into the cravings, reminding yourself that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. It's weird how actually things that you are desiring kind of start to speed up. I don't know if it's because the main goal that you have when you kind of start this process sometimes can shift and change, or if it's actually because you are evolving so much that you're actually becoming closer and closer and closer to that version of yourself where suddenly it doesn't feel a million miles away anymore. It actually feels like about there. As that starts to happen, you start to become much more clear. The question that you started with begins to change, right? This victim mindset of everybody else's turn but mine. When does it get to be my turn? You start to shift from that into, ooh, how do I want to serve the world with my gifts? What gifts do I want to share outwardly? What feels like the most authentic expression of myself that the world needs? You shift from a disempowering state to an empowering state. And this is what I talk about when I say I want people to tap into their own inner power. This is one of those things. You can turn all of this around anytime you want to. It's really about deciding and being willing to give yourself gradual grace in this process. If you need some support, I actually do have a free workbook in the description of this video, and it'll walk you through how to start creating that clarity for yourself on what you desire, how to move through some of the blocks that might be in your way, and kind of get you started on this journey of your highest version of yourself coming online this lifetime. So have fun with it, and I'll see you in the next video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for being here.